matched the one followed by the armored van that had vanished during a high-profile heist in June of that same year. In the spring of 2019, inside a modest used bookstore in Detroit called Community Reads, a quiet discovery began to unravel one of the city's longest dormant investigations. The shop regularly accepted donations from estate sales, libraries, and the public. Among these shipments, pallets of unsorted books and office materials often arrived in bulk. Lisa Harper, a college student completing her internship under investigative journalist Mark Davis, had been assigned the task of sorting through archival clutter. She spent her afternoons sifting through outdated ledgers, forgotten manuals, and fading notebooks. It was tedious work, rarely yielding anything of interest. Her internship had begun weeks earlier, tied to Davis's ongoing research for a podcast about unsolved crimes in Detroit. Lisa's role was administrative, and the odds of stumbling on something meaningful were close to none. That afternoon, Lisa was working through a stack of business records that appeared to originate from defunct civic organizations. Most of the documents were financial logs from the 1980s payroll summaries, quarterly statements, minutes from mundane meetings. But tucked between the pages of an otherwise unremarkable bookkeeping ledger, Lisa found a single loose sheet. Its texture and yellowed edges matched the age of the surrounding papers, but the content was unrelated. The heading identified it as an internal memorandum from a May 1988 union meeting, issued by a transport workers' local chapter based in Detroit. What drew her attention was not the formatting or typeface, but the details listed in the body of the document. It described a planned cash transport operation, complete with date, departure point, and stop sequence. As she read further, Lisa recognized the route described. It matched the one followed by the armored van that had vanished during a high-profile heist in June of that same year. The discovery became even more troubling when she looked at the bottom of the page. There, alongside two other names, was the handwritten signature of Edward Holt. The name was familiar to her from one of Davis's research files. Holt had been briefly investigated in connection with the 1988 robbery. According to police records, he had not been scheduled to work that day and had no official reason to know the van's route. In fact, at the time of the crime, Holt was already listed as off-duty, and later reports identified him as having resigned from the union months before the incident. Yet the signature appeared deliberate and confident.